So thank you for agreeing to have a chat with me today here at the Stewart Farms Medical Cannabis 5,000 Years in Counting exhibit, which is ending today, so I don't know why I'm advertising. But if you could introduce yourself and give us a little bit of your background, that'd be great.
So my name is Andrew Mcguire. I'm currently a serving member in the Canadian Armed Forces. I enrolled in 2009. The last 2 years I've been diagnosed with PTSD from childhood-related issues that I had. I also have major depression disorder and a few other underlying medical conditions, but long story short, medical cannabis in the last 2 years has probably saved my life. There was times when there was nowhere really left to look and turn to. I was suicidal. I was taking probably, well, I brought it along with me today. All the pills that I was prescribed, basically in a matter of an 8-month time period that they thought would help, and you know, I've given them every chance.
This was all in the last. This was in 8 months.
That was in an 8-month time period where all of those were prescribed. Yes.
So what's in here?
Everything from, well, as you can read, there's clonazepam, there's zopiclones, there's temazepam, so pretty much all the PAM, ZAMs, Kazams, however you want to say them.
All the PAM, ZAMs, and Kazams.
And Kazams, yeah. So,
Bam! So, I'm sorry.
Come to find out, through taking all these pills, I have a very high tolerance for medications, especially pain meds. So even the sleeping pills, for example, ones that should knock someone out with one dose, I was taking 2 and 3 pills of the same pill and it wasn't working. So there's everything from synthetic marijuana, the Nabilone as they call it, or the Sesame.
Yeah, Nabilone as well, yeah.
Nabilone as well.
Was that effective, or did...
It wasn't really effective. All that seemed to do really was give me headaches, and it was a short prescription that they tried me on. As you can see, there's still pills left in the bottle. I just carry this around now as a reminder that, you know, things could be a lot worse.
That's like a pound of pills. You know, like it's crazy. So what is in here as far as the medical conditions? So it's antidepressants,
antipsychotics. There's mixtures of blood pressure medications in there that they use to try and treat that based on certain doses that they've seen in certain patients. Whether it be they might have given it to me for something different, but they gave the same pill to a schizophrenic in a higher dose for obviously schizophrenia. So I was taking some pills that were prescribed to schizophrenics, but I don't have schizophrenia.
Because of your tolerance.
Because of my tolerance. So they had to give me a higher dose of a medication that might not have been specific for that, but it was their last resort to try and fix me.
So at the end of your 8-month journey into those pills, it sounds like you were at a peak usage. Well, at your peak kind of prescription pill usage, how many pills were you taking a day?
It could have been anywhere between 5 and 6, just depending on what that day called for. It all depended on how I felt that day. There were days that I couldn't even pull myself out of bed. I literally fell out of my bed from those pills. So,
from the pills? So you were taking the pills to get out of bed, but they were keeping you in bed? Or like, how was that?
I was taking the pills because more so I was only getting maybe 2 hours of sleep at night, and this was going on for 2, 3, 4 years.
Oh my God.
So
2 or 3 years you were getting 2 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah, so their first step with me was to try and get my sleep under control because they needed to stabilize me before they could start treating me. So once they somewhat got the sleep under control, it wasn't by the use of this. It was me finally coming to the point of tired of feeling like a guinea pig. And I started doing my own research, looked online, heard through word of mouth about a group called the Veteran Farmer. It's a medical wellness clinic for veterans and civilians as well. They don't turn anyone away. And they literally saved my life. I was on death's door, and I went to them and cried my eyes out, told them my story, and that's the only reason I'm here.
That's amazing. How long ago did you go to the Veteran Farmer?
Would have been almost a year ago to the day that I went there.
Yeah.
And it was, I knew that legalization was getting close, and I was just like, well, I need to try and do something, because it's either I do something to help myself or I end up in a pine box 6 feet under, and my kids would no farther.
Yeah. So you got kids? How many kids?
I have 2 kids.
You got 2 kids home?
I have a 14-year-old daughter who actually has autism, so that's another struggle that we deal with daily.
Yeah.
And I also have a 12-year-old daughter as well, so
Yeah.
2 daughters.
Yeah, well, you're busy.
Very busy.
And you need your head, right? You need your head to look
I
after
do need my
those
head, and the only good thing is that these veteran farmer people, their organization has opened their doors. It's the only place I feel comfortable to go in and talk to anybody really that's in there without feeling judged,
Yeah.
without any kind of stigma attached to it, which there still seems to be a lot of it.
To
But
what? Mental health or cannabis?
I think both.
Yeah.
I think there's still that fine line where, okay, you're in the military, you're supposed to be hard, you're supposed to do what you're told.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get it, and everyone does do
Yeah,
that.
why are you
but
stronger? You're in the military, you're supposed to be strong.
You're supposed
Right?
to be strong.
Strong army
You
guy.
are supposed to be strong.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Take bullets.
don't get me wrong, there's no shame, and for anyone out there watching, there's no shame in crying over, your problems. You need to deal with them, and you need to reach out to people like this.
Yeah.
People like the veteran farmer, whoever it is you need and you feel comfortable talking to, but don't do it alone.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it is tough.
tough.
I mean, I think I would predict we might be able to destigmatize cannabis a bit quicker than we can destigmatize mental health, and we've been working on that for quite a while now, right? As a society, and it's
I hope so.
well, it's tough, right?
It is.
I mean, mental health is, affects the whole family, but none of the other family members can really grasp it, or at least they have a hard time grasping it, right? Because they're not
The family member suffering. But the great thing
with the
about
health issue,
with the
right?
medical marijuana, I've been fully open with all my family.
Yeah.
Everyone knows, what I do, why I do what I do. They've seen drastic improvements. My health has come 100% 180.
So what was that transition like? So from the day you showed up at the veteran farmer, on that day, it sounds like it was close to rock bottom,
Oh, it
right?
was.
Emotionally,
It was.
maybe physically as well. So then what happened? And what was that transition? Can you walk me through that?
So first of all, it was a go in. I was more so looking for information
Yeah.
because at that point I knew nothing about the organization. So I went to a class that they offer called an Intro to Cannabis course, which basically sits down and she goes through. The she that I'm referring to, by the way, is Autumn Farmer.
Yeah.
She goes
Autumn
through-
Farmer.
Autumn
And to
Farmer.
clarify,
Yes, the last name
Autumn
is veteran
Farmer.
farmer, but the farmer is the last name.
yeah,
Yes.
their last name is Farmer. Yeah.
So,
That's amazing.
so of course their whole mantra is educate, grow, and medicate. And
Yeah.
by grow, it isn't necessarily like growing your own cannabis. It's growing like as a community, as a whole, as far as the organization, so that there's a support system in place, so that people can stop feeling the effects of the stigma and actually come in and feel safe and talk to people and get the help that they need.
Amazing. So what did they, after you did that Cannabis 101 course with Autumn Farmer, what did you start trying then? How did you
So I had gotten a prescription for 1 gram a day. That basically was the life changer. So as soon as I started ordering my licensed producer of marijuana, it was night and day. I had my energy back. My mood swings were instantly gone. Like as soon as I went outside to medicate and come back in,
Wow.
it was literally within 5-10 minutes. I went from being up here at a 10
Yeah.
to probably down here at a 2.
Yeah. Were you on a low THC flower? With,
It was just a low dose that was given to me to start out so that it could basically build up the cannabinoids back in my system because as you're aware, everyone's born with cannabinoids in the system.
Yeah.
So I just basically was trying to get myself back to an even keel. And once I get back to that even keel and I medicated regularly all the time,
Yeah.
it's been smooth sailing ever
Amazing.
since.
So what does a medication day look like today? So like these are, so this is what it looked like 8 months ago, right? Or a year ago, sorry, about a year ago. What does it look like today for medical cannabis?
So medical cannabis, usually I'll do maybe half a mil of oil in the morning, maybe half a mil at lunch, half a mil at supper. We'll take a full mil at supper, or like right before bed.
Yeah.
And during the day, I'll usually probably from 4 o'clock till maybe 10 o'clock at night is the average bedtime. I might smoke 2 marijuana cigarettes, yeah.
So, but not no more than a gram a day. So
No more than a
no more than a gram a day for that. In exchange for
And it
this.
replaces all of that.
Wow.
And I can still, like, between the cognitive behavioral therapy that I'm currently in right now,
Yeah.
and the medical marijuana, I honestly think that I will be able to recover from this.
Yeah.
And
Or
whether,
you're recovering.
exactly.
You're recovering. You're in the process of
And
it.
whether that means I stay in
Yeah.
the military or if I get released or whatever the case is, I'm not worried about it because I know that mentally I'll be good to handle whatever they throw at me. So,
Thank you. That's awesome. Congratulations.
thank you very much.
Congratulations.